With Counterpunched Boxing News, and I am once again live as I promised. I'm trying to be more live, more active. And the topic of today, people, ladies and gents, persons, is Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Now, we know Andy Ruiz has had his own struggles with weight. We know he's been a decent opponent. He still only has 2 losses. He's a former unified heavyweight champion on the IBF, the WBA, the WBO side, the IBO side. Because he snatched all those belts off of Anthony Joshua once upon a time. If you guys can remember, Bryce Productions, Counterpunch to you. Camilo, hold it in, Andy. Skrilla 50 in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. This is another patio chat. And it's concerning Andy Ruiz. And let's talk about Andy Ruiz as soon as the chat loads. But let me tell you, when I heard Andy Ruiz say, hey, you know what? I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a power lifter. I'm not doing this I'm not trying to look the part. I already had knew, like, look, this motherfucker either is getting fat again, getting tired of not eating the stuff that he needs to eat, or working out as much as he used to. But what does it mean? Let's hit that like button. John Ward, Kurt, you know your stuff, bro. Keep it coming. Peace from Ireland. John Wad, Counterpunch to you. I'll be in Ireland later next week, actually. Dublin. I'll be in Dublin. Skrilla 50. Andy Ruiz has become entitled ever since he beat AJ. Skrilla 50. Ain't that the truth? Right? I think Andy Ruiz, the worst thing, it was the best thing and the worst thing. I can't say the worst thing because, you know, he was the unified champion of the world. And for all the people that probably deserved an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz was the least deserving of fighting Anthony Joshua. The way that he got that particular opportunity was only God-given. I don't believe in luck. So it had to be a situation where it was, no one knew that he was going to get it but the higher power, the Lord, God. Because Adam Kalnaki turned it down. Dillian White turned it down. Luis Ortiz's team turned it down because they had some kind of sabotage shit with him with Wilder. Who else? Michael Hunter. I think Michael Hunter was probably going to be the next person that they were going to contact. And then Andy begged Eddie Hearn for that opportunity. You know? So you could say Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn could have had a type day like, you know what? I don't want to have Anthony Joshua coming over here whooping this fat guy. Why would I want that? Why would I want him showcased in Madison Square Garden knocking out a fat ass dude? Well, I mean, how would that look? How would that look to the Wilder fans, the Fury fans? You know what I mean? How do you prepare? Anthony Joshua fighting Andy Ruiz was probably one of the unlikeliest things that we probably were going to see, right? Skrilla 50, he's been ducking opponents and begging for a third fight with AJ. Payday. Skrilla 50, payday. Payday. Yes, that's true. I mean, that's what it was. Luis Ortiz is becoming known more as a power puncher, so are we going to see a KO from Ortiz? Look, if we see a KO from Ortiz, I will be bloody happy. But I think Andy Ruiz choosing to fight Luis Ortiz now was strategic. Okay? It was strategic. Why? Because this fight should have already happened. That fight he didn't want that fight to happen because Andy Ruiz was scared. He didn't know if he could beat Ortiz. He didn't know based on the type of performance that Ortiz had with Wilder the year before that. Mind you, Ortiz's second knockout loss in the 7th round, like 1 second left, was from Wilder. But who was winning that fight? Ortiz. So people knew, like, we can't fuck around with Ortiz. Ortiz might come in here and beat us up. And then what do we have? We got the AJ fight. Then AJ, we fought him again. And then we fight Ortiz and get knocked out. Nah. That bridges the gap. It stretches the gap between the legitimacy of Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, both PBC fighters. And Andy knew, I'm not going to take that chance to fight someone that's never been a champion. If I'm going to take a fucking chance, it's going to be against AJ. It's going to be against Deontay. It's not going to be against Luis Ortiz. Not today. Not today. But today, or this year, or the day that they fight on that day, is worth the stretch because he's 2 years older. Ortiz looked shitty his last fight, and he looked old, but better yet, he looked beatable. Okay, he looked more beatable by an everyday, no nonsense or no name fighter, and it was easier to beat him. So, given those opportunities that Andy Ruiz got, it has ruined him. He's definitely on the entitlement list. He won't look at anything like that. Yeah, it's going to be on pay-per-view, but, go figure. Good to hear, bro. I'm from Dublin. Worth a visit. Plenty of fight talk here. Absolutely, John Ward. The first Don. Ruiz had raw talent, fast hands, and the heart of a lion. When he got dropped, I think one of the first he got and kept throwing. But that Ruiz seems missing. Well, I think based on him saying, you know what, fuck losing weight, let's hit that like button. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the old me. Get back to the old me. Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got nothing to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lip. That's what he wants to do. And because he feels that, I think Andy is in his mind. I think it's a mental thing. I think in his mind, because he's never been small before, he thinks he's lost some of his juju. And since he thinks he lost some of his juju, he decides, you know what? I'm going to take my ass back up and wait because I think that Snicker power was better than this shit that's going now. But little does he realize, okay, that once he adds that weight on, he's going to be looking at a totally different person, or he's going to have to readjust to weight that he just took off. So he may be slower, he may be the same way he was in the Luis Ortiz fight. And guess what, guys? Him saying, hey, I got muscle memory, I can do this, meaning he's trying to justify gaining that weight and trying to justify and trying to convince himself that, I'm going to be fine when I gain my weight because I'm used to that weight. So don't worry about me. That's what he's thinking. Now, if it works for him, fine. But if it doesn't, his ass is grass because old Ortiz if he hits him with something that knocks him spark out, I will be clapping here to high heaven. And it will be live. I go live for all heavyweight fights. Especially if I can get them over here. If I can't, if it's on some bullshit like Boxer or something and I can't get it on Sky Sports because I can't get Sky Sports over here. But, more than likely it'll be aired over here. But I'm definitely watching Ortiz and Ruiz because that's over here on this side of the pond. Ruiz has raw talent, fast hands, and heart of a lion. When he got dropped, I think one of the first he kept throwing, but Ruiz seems missing. Not sure he still has the heart or passion. I think he has a passion to make more money. I think that's the only thing that's going to have him. And I think this is secondary commitment. What I mean by secondary commitment is he's looking at um, he knows I have to at least fight Ortiz to get a fight or another AJ fight or a possibility to get a big money fight. So he knows that. So hopefully that'll be determination enough for him to get off his ass and really work hard and train hard. But the training is essential. So him saying, dude, I'm going to just get fat and say, fuck it. I'm not going to train no more like I used to. And the question you ask yourself, people, is what happened to the guy that says he wanted to be a Mexican version of AJ or Mike Tyson? Do you guys remember that guy? I want to be a Mexican Anthony Joshua. Remember that? I think I need to work out my body. I'm not in shape. Andy Ruiz didn't choose to fight Ortiz. The fight was ordered. There you go. Because you know he ducked Ortiz before, a year and a half ago. No. Year before last. 2 years ago. Topentine. Andy is lazy. Joseph Parker exposed him, teaching him boxing. That was the best Jay Parker version. You know what? Joseph Parker showed Anthony Joshua how to beat Andy Ruiz. It was easy. It was easy. Just box him. Box him and move. Don't let him get you in the corner. Just keep boxing him. Keep him in the middle of the ring. Working your jab. Use your reach. Use your height. And you got him. Just don't get in bullshit exchanges with Andy because that's the only way that he's going to beat you. You know, where I give him fighting Ortiz, he's going to have more possibilities because Ortiz does go for the fences. You know, and he's slower than he used to be. He can't shoot the gun like he used to. Ortiz. Because we seen that in the Charles Martin fight. It was things that he thought that he could do and he couldn't do, and he ended up getting hit because they weren't going how his mind anticipated going. So his mind thought to do something like Sugar Shane Mosley talked about in Oscar De La Hoya. When you start slipping, when your reflexes, when your mind thinks before your body can react, and your body and your mind don't react in the same, that's a bad sign that you need to get out the game. Bars. Real talk, man. Andy Ruiz ate a pizza. Dude, I guess so. He probably ate more than one. But I'll tell you this, Mike Adams and company. I can't really, I love pizza. If I eat pizza, though, because I'm about 240 now. Sometimes I'm like 236, 237. I would love to be 230. But if I get a pizza from a hand-tossed Papa John's pizza, I will bloat the hell up. The 260-pound Ruiz is dangerous, though. Yeah, but who knows if Ruiz will stay at that limit? Because the problem is Thunder Productions. I think his problem is I don't think he knows how to turn it off. I think Andy has an obesity problem due to just not being able to control himself. I think that motherfucker just loves to eat. I think he just loves to eat. He loves to drink. He loves to sit around. He got 5 kids. Go figure. You know what I mean? And now he's trying to justify it. And it just shows you that the motherfucker still has a little something. He's still able to maintain. And the only reason that he's doing this, because he wants that last fight before getting out the game. That's it. The cherry might have thorns in it or poison for Andy, the cherry picker. Topin time. Let's hope so. I love when cherry picks go wrong. I love when they go wrong. Let's hit that like button. We almost got 70 people in here. And we got 15 likes. Everyone on the chat, hit the like button if you haven't. Please and thank you. Andy got no motivation anymore. He said he only wants the WBC belt and then he wants to retire. The Joker. He did say that. But I think he would rather, now listen to me guys, I think Andy Ruiz would rather fight Anthony Joshua again and say fuck that WBC belt than to fight whoever has the WBC belt. I don't think it's about the WBC with Andy. I think it's about getting a big money fight because the only motivation is money. I don't think Andy Ruiz cares about the belts because all those belts he won that night, he had 4 of them around his waist, couple on his arms, around his shoulders. I don't think he's missing that glory. He knows what that feels like. Cool, but that money felt better. Because if that glory felt better than that money did, he would have been motivating himself to stay where he was and get better at that time to take on Anthony Joshua like he's supposed to in the rematch. But he didn't do that. What he did was he partied with the Pauls, he ate sushi off of naked chicks, he ate steaks and drank Corona, and he partied in Mexico. That's what Andy Ruiz did. That's what he did. That's all he did. And in the greater scheme of things, with Andy Ruiz talking about I want to be a Mexican this and Mexican that, he had people lying for him. He had people saying, hey, yeah, he looks even sharper. He had that black ass shirt on, had a shirt all like this. Remember that? He had a shirt doing this. You just seen his arms, and his arms looked all massive because he probably did some push-ups, but that motherfucker's belly was hanging out, but the big ass shirt kind of overshadowed all that, so you didn't even know what kind of shape he was in. Then he had another little shirt, and it was another picture, and the picture was photoshopped. And it looked all like, damn, he's really chiseled up. All you see was that big ass tat across there. And let me tell you something else about tattoos. Tattoos will totally cover your figure. That's why they don't really like serious models with a bunch of fucking tattoos. Even hustler or Playboy models with serious tattoos with a massive amount, because you can't see what your body shape's like. And that's the whole point, isn't it? Okay, so if you got a bunch of tattoos, it's going to cover shit. Well, in Andy, it helped Andy because it helped deceive people that he had lost weight. But in reality, he didn't lose weight. He gained weight. He gained weight, bro. That's exactly what he did. He gained weight, and he had people thinking that he was losing it. If Ruiz, David Wood says, if Ruiz beats Ortiz, it doesn't mean he is entitled to a shot at the heavyweight title. He needs to get in the queue behind other boxers who are the mandatory. Well, David Woods, let me tell you something. It won't matter if he deserves it or not. That doesn't matter if he's entitled to it. What matters is where they place him. Mauricio Suleiman already said that he's leapfrogging, jumping ahead of all these other fighters. Joseph Parker, a guy that already beat him. Joe Joyce, an undefeated fighter. And Deontay Wilder. Okay? Somebody else there too. Who else is there? No, that's it, because Tyson Fury is the champion. So Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Frank Sanchez, there it is, and Joseph Parker, then himself. So he already said that he's going to put him and place him in a mandatory position. That is utter bullshit. But that's Mauricio. That's the WBC. We Be Crooks. That's the new name. I mean, sorry, that's the old name. But it is what it is. You know? So, I mean, the WBC, they do what they want to. They really do what they want to do. And they're just showing you. They just do whatever the hell they want to do. Putting Andy up there. Now Andy's talking about, you know. And let me tell you something, that it's all going to come together here in a second. Check this out. Why do you think Andy Ruiz, guys? I want you guys to answer me. Why do you think Andy Ruiz is so... why do you think he's bringing his guard down? Why do you think he's saying that, hey, I don't even really need to lose weight? Why do you think he's saying that? Rider of the Storm, salute Curtis. My name's not Curtis. Ruiz is going to spark Ortiz. Do you think YouTube boxing is good for boxing? Look, I think, and actually that's with a K, not with a C, but you're getting better. Roger Downs, hey Kurt. Andy out here ducking a 50-year-old Ortiz. Ortiz for the win. I hope he wins. But this is the sport that I love, that I hate so much, so more than likely it won't. Because boxing is not freaking fair. It's not. It's one of those sports like the Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, you should love boxing, because boxing is just like the Game of Thrones. You got somebody that's on top that's an asshole that won't give this other person the opportunity, right? Meanwhile, he's fighting a bunch of people that he know he can beat, bully shit, right? And then what happens? That person finally gets knocked off then the person that takes his place is another asshole. So you're like, oh, this always keeps going on and around and around. Just like Game of Thrones. Ortiz was chinny in Charles Martin fight, but he still got that punch that takes you to cloud 7. Well, it took Charles Martin to cloud 10. What if Andy KO's Wilder? If Andy KO's Wilder, we're looking at a different heavyweight landscape. Then everybody will want, everybody. I mean, who the hell is everybody? Because if he beats Wilder, which I doubt, but if he does, he beats Wilder, Wilder will be done. Wilder will turn, because Wilder's made a lot of money. So Wilder ain't got time to get beat up and fucked up like that, because fighting somebody like Ruiz knocking and beating KO Wilder, that just means he's going to have to take a lot of shots, because Wilder's not going to go down with one shot. So that means he's going to have to take a barrage of punches from Andy Ruiz for Andy Ruiz to get him out of there. That means more punishment. That means more damage. So, no. I think after that he will retire, but Andy Ruiz will probably retire too if he's already talking about retirement. So if you think, or he feels he wants to retire now, you already know he's going to retire if he beats somebody like Wilder. I've done what I needed to do. I thank God I was able to beat Wilder and Joshua. Nobody can say that. Not Fury, not Parker. I'm the only one that can take out these guys, but I'm gonna retire. Martin got stunned by Ortiz like a god. That's it. Damn, Kurt, you 240, you don't look it. Joker, I mean, a lot of people say that, but I guess I got heavy bones, bro. Bryce Productions. Have you ever boxed? Sure I have. Amateurly. In Louisiana, we have what we call silver gloves. So, Kurt, I love to eat too, but I feel like he might have a hard time maintaining a low weight. Well, he's short too, and I think some of that shit's probably genetic. Andy Ruiz can beat Usyk if he gets himself in shape. I don't think so. Because one thing I know about Ruiz, this is the whole point. This is the whole point of the live stream, though. Zakir Khan. He's telling us he doesn't have to get in shape. That's all he's saying. I don't have to get in shape. I have muscle memory. Therefore, I'm going to go back to that old person that you remember. That old person that we remember got decision by Joseph Parker, got outboxed by Anthony Joshua, right? That's that dude. Now he's going back to that dude, taking on Ortiz. Hopefully Ortiz is old enough to just not perform at a certain limit for him to win. That would be the only way, is Ortiz. It's not about Ruiz at all at this point. It's about Ortiz. It's what Ortiz does. Or should I say it's what Ortiz can't do. What's up, my boxing peeps? Yodel or Idel Gonzalez. Counterpunch to you, brother. Ruiz has to constantly fight to keep himself busy so he can keep his weight in check. Skrilla 50, that motherfucker needs a diet, bro. You can be in the gym all day, because I used to be one of them dudes. I used to be like 250, and I go to the gym every day. I had a big-ass chest, barrel chest, everything, walk around, but, dude, I was 250. And I'm like, how can I not lose this weight? Because you eat like shit. I left the gym and go drink a 12-pack of beer and some fucking 12 order of wings. Bone in, always. Never boneless. I don't do boneless wings. But I ate like shit. So you can be in the gym all day, but if you eat like crap, you're not going to see it. You're going to see like some definition. You're going to see, you see a person bigger unless you're hitting heavy weights. If you're doing bench pressing 200 plus. Yeah, you're going to get you're going to be, you're going to have some type of definition, but not much. You're going to get bigger, if anything. Phoenix, Arizona in the house. Counterpunch to you. You're down there with David and Jose, huh? Mark David Muego. I think Ruiz should fight Wilder. Hey, Kurt, what's your opinion on the possible rematch between Mayweather and Mcgregor? Look, that shit been 5 years ago. It's another money grab, if anything. Will it sell? Maybe. I mean, depends on how they want to promote it. If they're even in promotions no more. We don't have those promotions we used to have back in the day. We got maybe one press conference and that's it. You know what I mean? I miss All Access. I miss the hell out of 24/7 at HBO. We don't have that like that no more. We don't. Wilder will just line him up and boom. That's it. He'll find that punch. Knock Andy Ruiz out. Andy Ruiz will probably be out on a stretcher. They got to put him on too. Salute to the chat. Daddy. Areola slowed down too though, but dropped the big boy. Areola even exchanged with Ruiz and nothing happened to Areola. Well, Areola though ain't Ortiz. Ortiz is a very aggressive Cuban fighter, bro. Because he's a counterpuncher and he commits to every punch. That's how he was able to get Martin out of there. He got Martin out of there because he committed to that punch. That's what's going to make him dangerous. Like, he missed a lot of shots with Wilder. Wilder's tough, but he missed a lot of those big shots with Wilder. Especially when in the middle of the ring. Roger Downs, the WBC is corrupt. Absolutely. Andy said he needs only one fight, possibly AJ, after Ortiz can retire. Yep, that just tells you he's just fixated. He's like Triple G. He's like Triple G is like that. Who else? Wilder was like that with Fury. That motherfucker couldn't stop talking about Fury. Because Areola dropped him like a bad habit when he was slimmer. Karma Serene in this building. Listen, if that happens to Andy Ruiz, let's hope Ortiz don't gas out trying to get him out of there. But if Ortiz can finish Ruiz, Ortiz will be that guy that they're going to make jokes and shit about. But fuck with him. Because only one guy has beat Ortiz to this day, and his name is Deontay. Bars. I can see Ortiz fatiguing late and getting stopped. I can too. Sad to say. Everton Thompson, love your impersonations. Fucking Andy. I love my Twinkies. I love my Twix. I love my Snickers. I'm tired of this shit. Bars. This guy, Kurt DeVille, he's always talking shit about me. He's mad because I beat Anthony. Bars. Can you do a Chris Eubank impression? Senior, yeah, I can. SISMO. Better be. No, I don't hate Yard, but I pity the fool, and I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got. Stranginess. Counterpunch. Senior. I think Chris is one of the best fighters under the lineage of Roy Jones. Roy Jones is taking my son to the next level, and my son will be the best ever. There, I said it. Jackie Boy Johnson. Kurt, who do you think wins the Joyce Parker fight? I think Joe gonna run his ass over. Because, see, I look at it like this. I see Parker really ain't good at aggression. Now, Chisora showed us how you can beat Parker. He showed you how you cut off the ring and beat the shit out of the boxer. We know Joseph Parker's been in there with Tyson Fury, so he's been training and stuff. He's Tyson Fury. Jarrell Miller's been a part of that crew. And we've seen that, but I don't really see Joseph Parker doing that to Joe. I don't see him hitting Joe Joyce with something that makes him respect him. I think Joe Joyce is just gonna come in there and land these fucking big telephone arm punches and take Joseph Parker out eventually. But Joseph Parker's tough though. He got up from the left hook of Dillian White. He dropped Dillian White, and Dillian White's fat ass, ran out of gas. You guys remember that, right? He fights Chisora twice. He loses his O and his WBO to Anthony Joshua, right? Then he loses again the same year to Dillian White. He knocks out who does he take out? Junior Fa. He beats Junior Fa, right? That was like a rivalry, so he beats Junior Fa. Cool. So I mean Joseph Parker, he's done a little something, but I think he crippled his cap by stating he'll never fight Tyson Fury.
I'll never fight Fury. Fury's like my brother. I like him. I am an honorary gypsy now, so I will never fight Tyson Fury. I will fight Joe Joyce if the money's right. I told Frank the money's right. When you shook my hand, you said the money was right. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't apply. You read the text. I sent you the text. No, you shook my hand. You said that. You said. I didn't say that. Parker, you son of a bitch.
Kurt, you knocking them out this week. Yeah, man. I'm getting them in. St. Don, I'm getting them in with another one. Corny bar. I think Joyce wins. Yeah, I think, Joyce, he's just going to be too much. Because we've seen Joseph Parker struggle. We've seen him pressured. We've seen him cornered. And Joe Joyce, man, he ain't that type of dude that's going to back up. Because Dubois is a hard-hitting guy, and he took everything Dubois had. And that's why I picked Joe Joyce to beat Dubois. And everybody thought I was nuts because they thought Dubois was going to knock that guy out, a guy that had very little head movement. But look, there's one thing about Joe Joyce. He's not stupid. He didn't get hit with a lot of those big punches, and he was aware of those big punches. He respected them. Yeah, he kind of when Dubois came at him, he was kind of rubbernecking like, yo, let me get out of there. He caught him on the sides of the head, but he still showed his durability. But at the same time, he still showed respect for those big punches. So that's the difference between Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is not an idiot. Joe Joyce is a fucking martial artist, bro. Motherfucker was at a Shaolin temple. He's at one of them dudes. I think Parker might win quicker than Joyce and also durable. Well, if he uses it, if he can, if he's able to, if Joe Joyce lets him, Joseph Parker, if you let Joseph Parker box you, he's going to box you. Okay? If you let him. Like, Chisora didn't let him the first fight, but I think Chisora dropped the ball the second fight because Parker adjusted. Because Parker knows, and he figured out, I got to fight this motherfucker. I got to fight this dude. If I don't fight Chisora, he's going to beat me up like he did the first fight. It's 100 people in here. Let's get those likes up. Ortiz is an old beast. Roger Downs, be careful of old beasts. Kurt, have you mentioned Joyce versus Parker yet? Yeah. Scantz Rants. I got Ortiz. I'm going for Ortiz too. I'm going for Ortiz because, I understand the politics and I know Ortiz is the resistance and he's at the shitty end of this stick in this fight. Why do I say that? I say that because Ortiz wanted this fight for a long time. He was bullshitted in 2020, ducked. 2021, he was bullshitted. Andy Ruiz, I have to have surgery on my knee. And then the next week, Ruiz is, I'm like, dude, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you had surgery last week and then the next week you're doing squats? I don't believe it. Snicker Lovers is back. Bobby B, I love Snickers. Fatman returns. I'm bringing back my Snicker power. They lied to me. I'm not meant to be slim. I'm not AJ. Fuck Holyfield. Tyson, they're different. I bring the Fatman power. I've betrayed my fat people. I love you. I thank God for you guys. He wants to fatten up to avoid getting knocked down more easily. There you go. But you know what? Anthony Joshua hit this motherfucker with probably one of the best left hooks that Anthony Joshua hit him with. That fat motherfucker got up. He got a boom. I mean, did you see Andy Ruiz fall? I mean, he fell flat on his back. He did one of them slipping on ice falls. X Ace 99X. Big up, Kurt. Big up you. X Ace 99 times. Mark Anthony at the Boxing Scholar, of course. The title of the video is a bit controversial, Kurt. Fat. He is fat. You know, man, we know Andy's fat. Andy went from damn near a chubby, pudgy cruiserweight guy. I mean, he was looking good. And I think he just stopped believing in that shit. He just fucked it. You imagine Andy Ruiz, fuck this. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of eating sawgrass, salads. Fuck, I want some carne asada. Give me some fucking rice. Ruiz got hit by a huge right before he wobbled Joshua. He did. That motherfucker. I mean, Joshua belted. Joshua came. Boom! And then what happened, Ruiz, I think his adrenaline was so high, you know, but he still showed he had a chin, bro. Because actually that right supposed to took him right back down. And it also showed something about Joshua. His best punch ain't a right hand. He's like kind of like Trinidad. Trinidad, everybody thought, oh, it can knock you out with either hand. No. It's the left hook, bro. It's the left hook. That's the danger punch. Bernard Hopkins figured that out, and we should figure that out about Anthony Joshua. The right, boom, it sets you up. Then it sets you up for the left hand. Okay? He either comes in straight right, left, or he comes in with a right uppercut, left, like he caught Andy Ruiz. But he didn't catch Andy Ruiz with that. He caught him at the tip, but he ain't got a neck, so he kind of straightened him up a little bit, then caught him with that left hook. Bip, bip, you know, but he didn't catch him flush with that right hand like he caught Klitschko. Because Klitschko has a different, you know, strong neck structure and shit. So he got BAH! And caught me, and then he got caught with that left hook. That shit was pretty, though. He kind of bogged himself in and back, you know, caught him, dropped that boy. I was like, damn. You know what's crazy, though? I was at work, okay? Because I just thought this was a fight. Yeah, I'm going to do it because I was at work at the time. And I was like, then it was getting slow. And I was a server, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to, I went to the break room. And I checked out the fight. And like round one was just mediocre. I seen the shit. I was like, okay. I kept looking around, kept looking back, how much time I got. I mean, kept looking around how much time I got. Then it was like, damn, okay. Then I went back to work, and I did some clever shit, some Zach Morris-like shit, where I took the cell phone and put my cell phone in between, and I was in this bus station, you know, where they put the dishes and shit. Well, they had some towels, right? Some new towels, and they had them like in stacks. So they had about 3 or 4 stacks of towels. So what I did, I put my phone in and stood it up and kind of cornered it, and so people couldn't really see it. So I had it, and I was watching it, and I kind of propped it up on those towels. So I go in, and I'm, you know, Joshua's boxing and stuff. This is the 3rd round. So I go out, serve some drinks and shit, come back in. Now, check this out. Come back in. And would you know, I'm watching fucking Joshua on the ropes like this. I'm like, what the fuck? Joshua got knocked down. I'm like, dude. Then I'm watching, so I'm like, I'm shocked. So I'm like this. You know, and people are like, what's wrong with this motherfucker? He's looking at towels. Like, what is he looking at? Is he, you know, but I'm watching my phone. You didn't supposed to have your phone out there. That's the whole thing. You didn't supposed to have your phone in the break room. Bullshit rules, right? But I was watching it. And so I watched it, and then he gets down, he goes down again. I'm like, oh shit, Josh was getting fucking beat. So then I'm looking at the shit. I'm like, motherfucker, beat the count. So he gets up, and I'm like, oh my God. So it comes out. My demeanor is like, oh, how y'all doing? You know, they're like, dude, are you all right? Yeah. You know? Would Ruiz get knocked out by Dubois? I don't know. That's a good question. I would think, now this is the thing, I would think Andy would take Dubois. Because Dubois is that guy, was just like AJ before getting stopped. Dubois was a guy that relied on his power to get guys out of there. And then, see, he tries to overcommit on shots. So because he's trying to get his shots off because he believes in his power. He believes that he's knocking him out. Everybody else doesn't happen to everybody else. So I think Andy would give Andy an opportunity to catch him with something to hurt him. Ruiz looks better fat. I think this is the problem. I don't think he looks better fat. I think we've seen him fat so long, people, that our perception is, well, damn. Because one thing about it, he's bad built. That motherfucker got a big ass upper body, muffin top, little ass, and you know what I mean? Big calves, so like big ass head, tits. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's gonna need like he's like the slimmer he gets, the better off he is. That's the thing about really bad built people. If you're bad built, you must be straight up and down, so you don't have to look or accent how bad built you really are. And that's what Andy needs. That motherfucker got a tattoo on his ass. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because he's one of them little short, small ass guys with a big bag belly over there. You know, it's funny as shit. Actually, it's funny as shit. Like you can't you can't make it up. I see them talk about it. Jeremy Kyle. He's 6'2". Who's 6'2"? Ruiz is not 6'2", bro. If that's who you're talking about. He is not 6'2". He's about 6'1", maybe. I would give him 6 foot. Now, if he loses that weight, which I doubt, or if he decides to lose weight again, I think he would look taller, you know. So Ruiz optimal weight is like 260. Ruiz should probably be about 225, 230. A Snickers bar to Andy Ruiz is equivalent to a mushroom for Super Mario. Skrilla 50. You ain't lying. You imagine that shit? Ruiz, what are you doing? You gotta get him. Can you give me a Snicker? I want a Snicker. Fuck, here's a bite size. Take it. I'm ready. Mark, who's making excuses now? He's lost, bro. Move on. You're searching for an argument. What happened? What are we looking at? Would Butterbean have been a good fight for Ruiz right now? Well, one thing you have to understand about Butterbean was the king of the 4-rounders. So he knew, I got 4 rounds of fight in me, effectively. But if you double that, let's say if it's 8 rounds, probably not. Butterbean would probably get tired, you know. It looks more like 6 foot 6'1". Exactly. He is going to be overweight at 230 or 240 pounds unless he is muscular. But too much muscle is not necessary too good to be in boxing. Well, that's true. I think a lot of people's problem, they got too much muscle. Now, if Andy meant, hey, I'm gonna stop trying to get muscle and focus on leanness, that would be different. But he's not. Butterbean versus Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's talking about big ass people. Jarrell Miller is one big dude. He's like 340. And seriously, guys, when you're talking about big guys, Andy Ruiz, Jarrell Miller, I think they should start losing weight, because if they're getting close to retirement, I think it's imperative to lose the weight for health reasons. I don't think they should come around and turn around, and I don't think they should, in fact, think it's cool to get fatter as they get older, because the older you get and the bigger you are, the harder it is to maintain. The whole idea is you want to be smaller. You want to lose that damn weight, especially when you retire, because there's no motivation or no real legitimate reason why you're working out unless it's for a fight. We've seen boxers, they were shredded, ripped, like James Toney, Riddick Bowe, those kind of guys like that, man, they're huge now. Why? Because they have no motivation, because nothing is motivating them to get off the couch. Now, James Toney, he's still, to be fair, you'll catch him in the gym, still slipping punches. But, shit, Riddick Bowe, man, Holyfield had to, like peel this guy off the couch, to get him motivated, to get him active. The first Ruiz fight, AJ wasn't right from the start. Well, I think AJ, I think he's going to drop that book next year. You remember that book he was talking about? Rather work on just hitting the bag. Well, hey, something's better than nothing. Dubois was right. Boxing don't work. Boxing don't worth getting blind for. Oh, it's not worth getting blind for. No, it's not. He took that knee because that big ass Joyce was going to pop his eye out. Dubois versus Big Pharmacy Miller. You know that fight there would definitely tell you where the chin of Miller is. Because if Miller can take that and still land his own punches, you're looking at a pretty good, probably fight of the year. Why Ruiz dying for an AJ third fight so badly, he just can't get his name out of his mouth? Greg Reed. No. If you got a guy that gave you a payday, payday, I mean, why should you? Why do you think Gennady Golovkin? I want Canelo. I want good boy. The motherfuckers gave him the checks they'd never seen before in their life. You got life-changing money. Your quality of life changes due to the fact of one night of fights versus all the other fucking fights that you fought, and you get this? Yeah, you're not going to forget about that. That's superstar money. That's life-changing superstar money. That's that entitlement money. The boxing scholar. Mark, call BoxRec and tell them because they put W/TKO in the wrong column. Okay? Stranginess. If I was a boxer, I'd probably do Usyk workouts with kettlebells, complex movements without going super heavy. That's the best way to go. Like, I'm not getting any heavier than that. I don't see the point of that. Me with my age and shit like that, why would I want to just fucking balls swole, wake up fucking balls? Oh. No, it's not worth it, bro. You can tear something, you can get a hernia. That's not worth all that. It's not worth any of that. Psycho Crusher in the building. Andrade versus Bivol. That would be good. Andrade, man, he needs to fight someone with a quality name, like somebody. He got to put that O on the line, get him something. The fact that he said he's not willing to go blind and he's so young, he's in the wrong sport, to be honest. Well, here's the thing. That motherfucker probably did the best thing for him. See, we see people like Joel Diaz used to train Timothy Bradley, right? That shit happened to him. He's like, if you look at Diaz, that's when you see him wear those glasses all the time. You guys remember Diaz. If you guys follow Timothy Bradley, he used to be Timothy Bradley's trainer before Timothy Bradley teamed up with Teddy Atlas. But if you notice, he's always wearing these shades. Okay, so he's wearing these shades and shit. And if you look at him, if he takes that shit off, his eyes are like this. Because that eye is dead, bro. That retina detached. And that was because he was getting hit so much in that eye. So, no, I don't blame him. And you think Joel Diaz, if he knew that and caught that in time, you think he would be walking around with shades and shit? No. Don't mean you can't do it. It's just not the smart thing to do. Because if you know you have an injury or you're being injured, hey, let me step out on this one. And that's what Dubois did. I don't doubt him. I don't call him a quitter. You know what I mean? Because the same motherfucker that called him a quitter quit. Billy Joe Saunders. Counterpunch. How? Eye injury. Go figure. Don King versus the court. Usyk getting KO'd. AJ going to be a 3-time unified champ. King KO coming in with his prediction. That counterpunch. Lamont Brewster is blind, but it didn't come from one fight. There you go. But, I mean, shit starts from somewhere. Now, if Daniel Dubois finds out, like, look, I'm having problems seeing, he needs to get the fuck out of this boxing. Take those checks, save those checks, invest those checks, get some mutual funds, something that's, you know, pretty lucrative or successful, prominent, and get out of the sport. Ika Bucci versus Fury. Now, that'll be interesting. Late to the party, you might have spoken about it already, but who wins out of Joe Joyce and Parker? Mark Knight. I have Joe Joyce. Crowding and walking down Joseph Parker. But then again, Joseph Parker, once upon a time, people, was regarded as one of the fastest heavyweights that we have. All these Usyk fans coming out of the woodwork. Most of y'all didn't even watch him as cruiserweight. Well, I watched Usyk. Usyk came on my radar about 3 years ago. Yeah, about 3 years ago. And I remember when he knocked out Tony Bellew, because Bellew just upset David Haye, which is the former WBA heavyweight champion. And I was like, shit, this is going to be a fight because, you know, you got Tony Bellew. He just came from doing Creed, you know, so his shit was buzzing. And it's like, okay, you got Tony Bellew, and he was like, look, I'm going to fight for them fucking titles. So you got to take your hat off for Tony Bellew going to cruiserweight to take on Usyk. And he was doing a pretty good job. You know, Carmen Basilio had one eye and fought to the death. Yeah, that's why. No, fuck that. Kurt, how would Usyk do against 1990 heavyweights? He would do pretty good because they were not as big. You probably have some problems out of Lennox Lewis. I would love to see a fantasy match, him and Chris Bird, two southpaws, because Chris Bird was a very savvy, very quick, very, very, very talented fighter, very skilled fighter. Very precise. So I would love to see a fight like that. I think he would do good, though. Bellew came out of retirement for Usyk. Yeah, he did. And he went right back into retirement after Usyk. You know, good fight, though. Jumbo weight. Thought you were speaking of Jarrell Miller. No boxer should get blind just to suit certain so-called fans. That's true. Fuck that. I'd hate to be blind. Man, Jesus. Bryce Productions. Has anyone gone blind in an eye from having only one boxing match? No. The closest I've seen though was Antonio Margarito, because his eye bone was broken, and then it's kind of like that shit became a trend. Pacquiao broke Margarito's eye, then Kell Brook's eye got broke by Triple G, then Errol Spence broke the other side of Kell Brook's eye. Then who else was it? Then Daniel Dubois' eye, orbital bone. Then Billy Joe Saunders' orbital bone. You know? Pac-Man versus Mayweather in their primes. What's your counterpunch? Nathan. When they fought, they were still very, very good. Would that have changed? Maybe. It would have changed if Floyd was younger, because Floyd was more aggressive younger. Now, what does that mean for Manny Pacquiao? I don't know. I think Floyd has always been Floyd. The pretty boy that I know would have went to stop Manny Pacquiao. But I do feel that when Floyd seen Pacquiao do the things that he didn't want to fight him at a certain time. He didn't fight that motherfucker till he was knocked out cold. But would he have beat Pacquiao in 90? No, not 90. What am I saying? Would he have beat him in 2009 or 2010? Probably. You know, because Floyd's just as quick as he was then. He would probably fight him the same way. You know, he wouldn't fight Pacquiao like he fought McGregor. That just shows you that the respect fighters have for other fighters. You don't fight fighters a certain way. Or box fighters, should I say, a certain way. You could end up hurt. With all the broken orbitals in recent years, it's because now they hit harder. Dude, I don't know. Oh, Kell Brook, did he get it? Did he re-break it with Terrence Crawford? No, I just think he just got punched in it. Didn't Chris Bird beat Vitaly Klitschko? Yeah, it was due to an arm injury from Vitaly, though. Abarabuchi versus Usyk. Ooh, that would be a good one. Because Abarabuchi would just go in savage mode like he did Chris Bird. He gave Chris Bird his first loss. Who would win in a fight, Jorge Kawagi or Jake Paul? I don't know who Jorge is. Shoulder injury, then Vladimir, a draw. Maybe they're more softer, too, in their face. That's one way to look at it, Bobby B. What do you think Muhammad Ali would say about YouTube boxing? Shit. What's YouTube? So you think Mayweather would still come out with the win? Yeah, I do. I think it would be more of a better fight, though, because Mayweather would have done more and Manny Pacquiao would have done more. So you'd have seen more of a better fight than what they did. But what we saw was two great fighters fight each other. And that's how it would have went, and that's how it went. Ike bull rushed Chris Bird. He sure did. Knocked him right on out. Heavyweight contender Michael Benet in a victory over Tommy Morrison Bennett suffered a lot of eye damage, fought one more time and retired because of the damage he suffered. Kurt, look Kawagi up for a laugh. Okay. Did Ruiz put a lot of weight back on? You know what, Bong Donkey? I think he's going to do it. I think it's going to... If he comes in at 283, he's going to get knocked out by Ortiz. I don't give a fuck if Ortiz is 50 years old, bro. He's going to knock Ortiz... he's going to knock Andy Ruiz out. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Definitely. What did Mike Tyson say? About what? Alicia, about what? Oh, by the way, guys, I have dropped the prediction video of Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua Part 2. It's on members only. Check it out. For you members only, if you don't know, it's on there for show. Anthony Joshua. Oh, okay, you didn't watch the video. No, he said he has balls. You know, Mike Tyson, I think Anthony Joshua has balls. Yes, he has balls. So, yeah, I think Mike Tyson, he has respect for the future generation of boxers. You know, that's why Tyson gets so much love, because he's not a hater, he's a participator. Because he understands where he was versus where these fighters are at. So, I rate Dubois. I thought he looked better again until Joyce got lucky with the eye. It wasn't one-sided entirely, I know, but I thought Dubois looked good until that point. Joyce, though, has a great chin. Yeah? But one thing Dubois should have foiled was the jab. Just a jab. Just a jab. You know what I mean? Kurt showing Andy Ruiz how to work out. Yeah, he should hang out with me a while. How do you get the membership to your members only content, Kurt? Skrilla 50. Go to my page, hit join, and pick a slot. It's a tier. I think I got 2, silver and gold. Gold has a lot of extra content and stuff on there. Silver has some content, but it's not like gold. But the prediction is for all, so you can, either one is fine. Imagine a fight between Joyce and Ortiz, how long it will take. I don't know, man. See, here's the thing about that. Team Joyce ducked Ortiz years ago. I mean, they ducked him years ago. See, Abel Sanchez, I think Abel Sanchez is scared of Cuban fighters. I think he's weary of them. I think he's scared to death of them. Because he didn't let Triple G fight Eris Landilado. And he didn't let Joe Joyce fight Luis Ortiz. Imagine a fight between Joyce and Ortiz. How long it will take. I think Ortiz will knock out Joyce easy. Damn. If Ortiz knocked Joe Joyce out, do you know what that means for the punching power of Ortiz? You know what Wilder would do? I told y'all need to fight him. Don't wait, make the date. He will beat your ass. He was whooping my ass until I gave him the Alabama slammer. I showed him that African God-given power. I gave him what I gave him. But he whooped every ass around, right? It matters what AJ turns up against Wilder. Everybody talks about when AJ got dropped by Ruiz, the effect it had on him, but nobody talks about the effect AJ knocking Ruiz down has had on him. He also looks gun shy. He can't take punches either. Ben Hastings. I never looked at it like that. Because I think certain people learn punching power, and it either makes them smarter or it makes them harder. And a lot of times when you think it's smarter, you think people's weaker. No, they just know. I don't want to get hit like that again. You know? Canelo KO Usyk, round 1. Fact. Timothy Hoffman. Dude, no. Hell no. Usyk would outbox Canelo, bust him up. Because we've seen what happens when boxers, pure boxers, like Bivol, we've seen him with Lara, we've seen him with Mayweather. Those are his worst fights. I think they should all be losses. I think Canelo should have lost it. He's lost to Floyd. He should have lost to Lara, and he lost to Bivol. If he gets in there and wants to fuck around and tangle with Usyk, he can do that shit all he wants. But Usyk, being Usyk, nah. Heard these workout live chats are legendary. King Richard counterpunched to you. Let's drop them super chats. Alicia Rosado, M. Sizzle. When Ruiz got knocked down, he looked at AJ like he was his daddy. Yeah, he did. Was like, you know, the AJ that fought White would beat Wilder. I think the thing with Wilder is this. If you give him any kind of space and opportunity to throw that right hand and it lands, that could be your very end. I don't give a shit if you're AJ, Tyson Fury. He says even when Tyson Fury got caught, Tyson Fury fell, like I told you guys yesterday. He fell again purposely because he knew I needed time because this punch hurt me to my core. If Tyson Fury is talking about retiring because of the third fight with Wilder, you know, I think that might have given Wilder confidence to come back because he was like, that's why he wanted to retire because he knew I hit him with one of the hardest punches ever in history. I don't think I did 90, but I guess. I got some new jump ropes that shows you how many times you've actually jumped. I don't know if it's accurate. Let me see. See, no, it's not accurate. This is not accurate. Because that was what, four or five jumps? This shit's went from 90 to 100. No, so it's not accurate. I think it was counting because it hit the ceiling. So I think it was counting that also. What's going on with Foreman? Don't hear or see him nowadays. Well, you know, some chicks tried to say he assaulted him, so he's probably staying low. Yeah. That's what's up with George Foreman. He's getting his legal team together. Why on earth are people talking about Canelo beating Usyk? There is no contest. As far as AJ Wilder, I'm from the UK, and I think Wilder catches AJ. AJ has no head movement and easy one bomb. Easy one bomb for anybody that Wilder hits. AJ can hurt Wilder as much as Wilder can hurt him. Jackie Boy Johnson, I believe that. You know, and especially if Wilder gets if Joshua gets on the inside, if Wilder lets Joshua in, like let's say Joshua comes in with a jab and Wilder just does this bullshit he does, he just puts his mitts up. If Joshua comes in, he can come in with a right uppercut, he can come in with a left hook, you know, then he can dash out. But understand, that fight ain't gonna go with how people think it's going to go. It'll go how it goes. Okay, so if Wilder lands that right hand, we will see what happens when it explodes on Anthony Joshua and what Anthony Joshua or how Anthony Joshua will react to it. Yeah, Alicia, it's crazy. Accusations after all these years. And this shit happened like in the 70s. I'm like, where you motherfuckers been, in a coma? Where you been, in a coma? Where you been at? You should have got him when he got real rich off the lean, mean, fat reducing machine, the George Foreman machine. They should have came around then if they wanted bread. Like, where the hell they been? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, now I'm gonna pop out, this fucking guy's 80 years old. George Foreman is like 75. And now you're talking shit about him now. Like, what the hell? What's going on? All you really need to do against Wilder is to keep moving to your right so he can't set his feet. Ortiz nailed it until he gassed out and stopped moving. Ortiz thought that round was over and got nailed. Bow! Ding, ding! Go ahead. He tried to get the mouthpiece and shit, put it back in his mouth. Just get the fuck up, bro. The counterpunch is real tonight. Love it. Ben Hastings in the building. Counterpunch to you. Backing up Wilder is the way to go. The boxing scholar. That wrong with picking sides. We know Wilder's body looked vulnerable in Fury 2. If AJ dropped a left hook to Wilder's body, it may end the fight. I think Wilder's a lot tougher than people think, because I think the smaller he is, the better he is. He should be a thin, Bob Foster built motherfucking guy. Faster hands, faster reflexes, because he has less weight to move or to deal with. He's faster by default. That shit he's doing is bullshit. He's trying to act a part. He's trying to appear more like a boxer or one of these big ass guys of more menacing than actually doing what he knows to do. What Wilder knows to do is punch. Throw the right hand, land the right hand, end the fight. Knockout artist 101. That shit he doing, going from 220 to 230 to 230 to 238 or 9, that's bullshit. That's what's going to get him beat. Because if he's with somebody that can move and can take him farther, okay, his heart's going to keep him there, but he's not going to be successful. And I'm really surprised at Malik Scott, though, honestly. Because if anybody that really cares for Deontay Wilder should tell Deontay Wilder, drop the weight, please. We need you to lose 10 pounds. We need you to be at least 225. Because we need you fast enough to get that right hand off, to get these combinations off. And we want you to effectively do it so you can carry that power to those later rounds. If you guys notice the difference between the second fight and the third fight, Wilder was no good in the third fight. I mean, he fought with heart, but the first fight, he didn't really want to be trained for shit. But he had the power still. He had the power and the reflexes. He just didn't have the training. Because everybody thought he was a god because he could punch hard, which was bullshit. But he still showed you his reflexes were still there in the 12th round. But that was due to being at a certain weight. Wilder simply needs to use his lead hand better. Joshua Littlejohn. Wilder has a strength and conditioning coach for that. Scott knows his place. Skrilla both big punchers, but you can't deny Wilder is a huge puncher too. Yeah, that's it. Wilder has that punch that will hurt you with that one shot. Agreed, he has the power, but he wasn't coachable. Alicia, you're so right. Dead the fuck on. He didn't let Mark Breland coach him. And Mark Breland came out and told him. And his son, his son came on my channel, I believe, right? Yeah, his son came on my channel. And we did an interview sometime last year, and he pretty much spilled the beans on where Wilder was, where he began, and all that stuff. Shola, Ebo Fiend, 220 Wilder is light and deadly. Absolutely. The 220-pound Deontay Wilder will put your lights out. Ask Ortiz. You could say Dominic Breazeale, but Dominic Breazeale is slow. Your top best chins in boxing right now. Joe Joyce, Canelo Alvarez. Gervonta Tank Davis. Gennady Golovkin, he's up there because he ain't never been down. Danny Garcia. In boxing right now today. Probably not in that order because I think Triple G has a better chin than if we go to do top 10, Usyk's there too because Usyk showed he has a good chin coming from cruiserweight and taking punches from a hard-hitting heavyweight champion or former champion or two-time former champion. So, yeah, definitely Joyce, Canelo, Triple G, Tank Davis, and Danny Garcia. Those are the 5 best chins in the sport of boxing today, in my opinion. I could have sworn the ceilings got a little smaller, right? Swan, AJ still better combos on the inside than Fury, even after his crunk training. So therefore, AJ could definitely destroy Wilder on the inside if he got the chance. Swan, let's go a step farther. How about Joshua destroying Tyson Fury on the inside? Nobody ever thinks of that shit. See, it's like, and I always say this, Tyson Fury, everybody talks about Tyson Fury elusive, he's fast, he's this, he's that, but he got caught by Wilder. 240-pound Wilder. So if Wilder can catch him at 240 pounds, knowing Wilder is slower at a heavier weight, why can't Anthony Joshua counter punch people? What are you trying to do? I was trying to jump rope, actually. Bars, Mr. Golden Balls. AJ wouldn't be able to keep Wilder at bay with his jab. Why the hell wouldn't he not? Fury did. He looks big at 135. Well, he didn't want the 100 million. No, he didn't want the 100 million. He wanted more than that. Al Heyman wanted to get more. Joyce versus Parker has been confirmed, Kurt. What are your thoughts? I've got Joyce 8, onward stoppage. I'm going for Joyce too. I think he beats Joseph Parker. I think AJ beats Fury on the inside. I think Fury will keep it long, jab and grab, and he'll go southpaw. He would be able at Kurt. Or he would be able. Okay. I was say, like, dude, that jab AJ got, you can keep fat ass Ruiz back. You can keep Wilder back too. You know, Joyce is overrated. Well, the boxing scholar, we'll see. Brian Jennings ran Joyce really close to Parker, could beat him. It's going to be a good fight. If Parker was a pushover, we wouldn't be excited about it now, would we? The former WBO heavyweight champion of the world. I think AJ can win against Usyk. I don't know why I see AJ KO Usyk. Hey, that's how you see him. That's how you look at it. What do you mean bars? What's it mean? Bars means when you make a rhyme of bars. When you're rapping and you make a rhyme of bars, you know, say something. You know? What do you mean bars? That's in between bars. Bars. Mr. Golden Bowl. Oh, okay. I see AJ knocking out Usyk too. Well, I think he has the punching power to do so, but can he get it done? Do you see AJ beating Usyk? Yes or no? Corey, the movie junkie. You're gonna have to watch the fight prediction. It's on members only. Can't give you motherfuckers everything. Do you have AJ beat? Okay, off topic. How hot over there? Now. Let's see. Good question. "101 degrees Fahrenheit." Did you see the Christian Hammer fight? Joe Joyce is overrated. I feel Joyce is too young in the game personally. And it's crazy. Mark Knight, he's older than damn near everybody. He's older than Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. He's like the same fucking age as Deontay Wilder. You know, I don't know what that is in Celsius, bro. I don't know. Why don't you look it up? What's 101 degrees in Celsius? 38 degrees, 38.3. Which means 101 degrees. New York it's 93. Alicia, you want to trade? I'm in the shade. Bars. Jackie Boy Johnson. Now you get it, right? Yes. So I'm out here in the heat, right? Man, if we get to see Fury versus AJ in any fashion, I'd be stoked, especially for the build-up. Me too, bro. Everything would go crazy. I would love that. I would love that month. That month of boxing will be off the fucking chain. The build-up would be off the chain. Everything. Could you imagine Tyson Fury? Hey, the bodybuilder, he's finally redeemed himself to come to the Gypsy King. I am the Gypsy King. I am undefeated. No one has ever beat me. Welcome, AJ. Now it's time for a payday. Bars. Come on, you big Dulcer. I was wondering when you could justify yourself fighting me. I'm gonna beat you, you big Dulcer. And it's funny. Think about Fury. Everything he says, as far as fighting, he fuck around and does. And I remember he said that about Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder was like, I'm coming with blood. I'm going to smash your fucking face in. How about that for a fucking message? I'm like, damn, Fury. But he's so unpredictable and plays too many mind games. Can't believe if will really fight him though. Without boxing, Fury ain't shit. And Fury knows that. You know? I must break you. I feel like Fury wouldn't care if he loses to AJ because of the money. Well, if he does lose to AJ, he's going to fight him again. But then that would be a pivotal moment. It will be something that we've never seen before, because we then will get to see how Tyson Fury takes a loss. If he makes a bunch of excuses, he loses credibility. But if he takes it on the chin and like a man, I think he'll gain fans, and I think he'll try to do it again, and that's the plan. Bars! Why don't you offer Jake Paul a fight, Kurt? Make $1 million. I'll fight that motherfucker for $1 million. You imagine that? Here's Jake Paul. Yeah, for the stunt man, Kurt DeVille, I've knocked out UFC. I've knocked out basketball players. But I never fought a stunt man. I hear you got a YouTube channel. Yeah, it's small compared to my shit. It's like comparing a watermelon to a grape. But I guess what? You want to come? You want to test me? Let's go. Fight me at 220 though. Bars. I'll knock your ass out too. Fuck you and your crew. Jake Paul would talk a bunch of shit. But I'd fight Jake Paul. Yeah, give me $1 million. I would fight that motherfucker in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I'll fight him. I'll start training tomorrow. Kurt, how would you a Pernell Whitaker versus Floyd Mayweather play out? It'd be a good fight. Depends on what year that fight will be. You know, you'd have to take the best of Whitaker, the best of Floyd. That'd be a good fight, though. Very good fight. What do you think of Jake Paul and the other guy regarding that contract pullout? I think it's bullshit. I think he didn't want to give too much advantage to Rahman, because I mean that would actually be a fair, legitimate challenge, and I don't think Jake Paul, being the A side, wants to give someone necessarily a fair challenge. That's what I think. It would be great for both either way, but AJ got a big task ahead of him. He does. Ruiz got knocked down 2 or 3 times by Areola. Before then, he hadn't been knocked down until the 3rd round in his first fight with Joshua. I think Ruiz's time to top heavyweight might be over. Double A, triple B. Let me tell you what. If he gets knocked out by Luis Ortiz, it is. I mean, there's no denying that. You know, he just said, I'm going to give up on training. I'm going to give up on trying to be in shape. I'm going to give up on that shit. I'm going to go back to the fat ways of my old days. Bars. Right? Floyd Mayweather didn't like fighting southpaw fighters. He barely wanted to fight Zab Judah, and he ducked Corey Spinks. Yeah, he wasn't a fan. That's why he didn't want to fight Lada. You think him fighting Lada, that would be a hell of a fight, especially Lada's 39, Floyd's 45. So that's 6 years. So even if Floyd was 38, that would have put Erislandy Lada at 32. Lada would have probably beat him. But Floyd's smarter than that. He ain't gonna fight nobody in the fucking steaming prime. Are you crazy? No, not anyone like Lada. You know, it better be for some money. He'll fight Canelo because Canelo got the country behind him. He knows that. That's why he fought Juan Manuel Marquez on his way back in the sport of boxing. Coming out of retirement for like the 3rd time at that time. Tapping in Kurt, salute. Counterpunched to you, Capital 2 times. Salute Mr. DeVille, Jim 82 in the building. Fury needs to fight Joshua and Usyk to have a legacy. Well, yeah. But, I mean, as far as he's understand, his ego will tell him that I don't need to fight any of these fucking guys because I am the lineal champion. I'm the guy that beat the guy. I fought the biggest puncher and the only man to beat the biggest puncher in boxing history. So, no, I don't think he needs it. I don't think he feels he needs it. But I agree with you. He does. Ingle Gym at Sheffield if you like to train. Mr. Golden Balls. I would go gladly, and I will go someday. I will make a way. Bars. Mark Griffin coming in with that $1.79 pound. You didn't have to, but you did. Thank you for the super chat. Mr. Golden, I'm good, thank you. If they ever fought. Jackie Boy. Caden from Boxing Bros, USA versus Boxing Ego at Heavy, Barbershop versus Hatman, Ring IQ versus Bruce Vane. Damn, we're talking about some big shit. Caden from the Boxing Bros. Well, it's a lot of Boxing Bros. Which one is that? Like, I don't know, because it's like Caden from Boxing Bros versus Boxing Ego. I don't know which one Caden is, to be honest. Boxing Ego at Heavy. Okay, Barbershop versus Hatman. I got Hatman. Hatman is a big ass ex-bouncer, ex-boxer, bro. Okay, I wouldn't, you know, you like guys that you don't see, you know, you know what I mean? You know, like Ring IQ versus Bruce Vane. I've talked to Bruce, but I never met him. I know Jules is a smaller guy, but I don't think, you know, size does matter. So I don't know. I would probably go, because I don't know Caden, but I'll definitely go with Hatman and Jules and Bruce. They're both friends of mine, so I wouldn't call that. Hey, CP, live in UK. Mr. Golden Balls. Fury is dying for the Joshua payday. Yeah. He wants everybody to think that shit's going to be free. Yeah, right. It's not going to be free, bro. How old was Lara when he fought Canelo? Lara was, okay, we go back. If Lara's 39 now, and 14, they fought in 2014. So, 9 years ago? So, he was 30 years old. 29 or 30 years old. Kurt, better left hook. Tank Davis, Zab Judah, or Felix Trinidad? Felix Trinidad, all day, baby. Felix had that left hook that changed fights around for him. Because he was getting beat by David Reed. You know, I think David Reed was I want to say it was a silver Olympian. But David Reed's problem, he had a low eye, and that eye affected him. He was very fast from Philadelphia. David Reed, man, he was a bad boy. We all AJ fans, only USA like Fat Fury. Fury saying that Wilder is the biggest puncher in heavyweight history is bollocks. Punch versus Southpaw 773. Who you got? I don't know who Southpaw 773 is. Renee Padilla. Kurt, when was the last time you've been down here in H-Town? Last month? I drove through it. Yeah. Coming from New Orleans. Came back into Austin, got in a damn wreck. Go figure. Better jab. Triple G or Bivol versus Kovalev? I don't know. Probably Golovkin. Probably Golovkin. Golovkin has a good jab, bro. And Golovkin's good at it on his feet because he can step out and he steps in with the jab. You know what I mean? Do you think dwarf boxing should be a thing? And if so, wouldn't there be a different weights? Mark Knight, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not even speaking on that. I'd like to go to America, but they won't let me. Damn, St. Don, you've been working with Kinahan? Double A, Triple B. Ruiz looks healthy on the left. He has a new neck now, but sadly for him, he may be worse off as a boxer with the weight loss, but good for his health. That's true. Strangeness. What about Coach Malachi versus Jake Paul? Uh, Coach Malachi looks like he could fight because he talks a lot of shit. He's from Dade County. He's from the crib, but he might be short. So Jake Paul might have the reach on him and the height on him. You know? And I don't know how good a shape he's in. He don't look like he's in bad shape. You know, but he definitely looks a lot older than Jake Paul. I don't know. Maybe he's 44, 43, something like that. I would go for Malachi though. I want to see any fellow YouTuber. Not saying Jake Paul isn't, but you know what I mean. Good night, CP. I'm training camp, going to fight Conor Ben at a catchweight. Also, our dads are doing exhibition fights on undercard live at the O2 Arena in December. Mr. Golden Balls, counterpunch to you. Mr. Golden Balls. You mean our dads or area dads? St. Don, you have an affiliation with, I know, right? Kurt, who you got? Ben versus Eubank Jr. I don't know. I just want to see the fight. Lee Foster, Kurt, did you see Joe Joyce Parker fight? It ain't happened yet. Better jab, Winky Wright versus Pernell Whitaker, a.k.a. Sweet Pea. Winky Wright, definitely, has a better jab than Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea's just more elusive, shorter, can get under punches, but nah. Mark Griffin, how would Usyk do against Iron Mike in his prime? Ooh, man, I don't know. Because, Iron Mike was quick, too. I mean, the dude, Kid Dynamite, bro. Kid Dynamite. Lee Foss in September. I got Joe Joyce. But Joseph Parker, if he upsets Joe Joyce, that's the end of Joe Joyce. But you got to take your hat off to Joe Joyce for wanting that fight. Why? Because a lot of times these fighters are not even trying to fight nobody that's a threat before they get their opportunity for that big ticket, for that big fight, for that big opportunity, that huge opportunity. They don't want to know. They're like, no, I ain't fighting him. Fuck that. I'm waiting for the winner of Usyk Joshua. I'm just going to chill. Dedabu. AJ needs minimum of 5 punch combinations whenever he feels his fist hits any part of Usyk. This guy, he's been messing with me this whole time, ain't he? You live on the East Coast or West? Dude, I'm Central. Sweet Pea got robbed against De La Hoya. Yeah. Anyone here a fan of Tywin Booth lives? The guy is hilarious. I think he does about 2 lives a week. I catch Tywin Booth sometimes. He called me the Black Hater. Yes, cut. He's a Black Hater. Counterpunch Boxing News. Counterpunch Boxing News. The Black Hater. Our dad's CP. 156 is the weight. Put your money on me. Bars. Okay. So who are you? I mean, are you Chris Eubank Jr. or are you Conor Ben? Because if you're Conor Ben, I met you last year when you were in the build-up of the Haney fight. We fist bumped. I was with Dean. If that's you, I'm not sure. Good shot, Kurt, with the fly like Mr. Miyagi. Kurt, do you feel like Spence fought all of Keith Thurman's leftovers, but not the man himself? Well, he couldn't get a fight with him. But needless to say, that's how it is. Keith Thurman is scorned. But I understand Keith Thurman. I don't give him too much stick for that. The Black Quitter is O'Hara Davis. Yeah, I know, right? Parker beats Joe. Joe too slow. Bars, Kenny B. Bars, Kenny B. Jackie Boy Johnson. If Joshua beats Usyk, does that make a fight with Fury even bigger than it would have been before? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It would have been bigger if he didn't lose. But since he's lost, it means he's a 3-time champion. He has the belts back. It does more for his resume. It means that he's beat and avenged everyone that he's been in the ring with, so it completes his legacy. You know what I mean? And his resume and his accomplishments. But it doesn't make the fight any bigger. No, it doesn't. Because see, Joshua didn't have to be beat by Usyk. That fight was already big. Tyson didn't have to beat Dillian White to make that fight bigger than it already should have been. Parker wins on points if he doesn't get knocked out. Hey, I could live with that. Joshua Lil John, Kurt, would you pay to see Joe Parker versus Frank Sanchez? Yep. But he would have beaten an elite fighter like Usyk. Joshua fight if Joshua wins will be the biggest fight in history of boxing. That would be badass though. It would be a big fight, huge fight. That would be a huge fight. I mean, boxing definitely would take another shift on the narrative that it could go if Usyk beats him this month. Dude, that is this month. This is the 3rd. Okay? So, we'll see. Joshua Fury fight. Okay. I guess we're running out of comments. I guess you guys quit. Cool. Joe Joyce versus Efe Ajagba. Who are you taking? Ooh, I don't know, man. That's a good fight. I would want to see that. That would be a fight I would be very interested in watching. If Joshua wins against Usyk and fights Fury, that will be the biggest ever. Joyce all day long. AJ needs to slow Usyk down by body shots. AJ needs to step on Usyk's toes coming in. That way Usyk move, then let go, uppercuts and hooks go. Joyce would crush a Jagba. He might. Depends. Because Jagba is a tall fighter. I think he likes fighting tall. Joyce versus Tua. Ugh. I don't know, man, because Tua's a dangerous guy. That's a very dangerous fellow. Boots Ennis versus Bud Crawford, passing of the torch or not? It is. It would be. Kurt, if Usyk retires, or Usyk tries to come in being aggressive, I think Joshua should do a step side, counter right hand, and starts his combinations from there. Yeah, he could if Usyk's still there. Because what's stopping Usyk from just jumping back? See, understand Usyk, man, he's not that type of dude that he's easy to pinpoint. Because the guy, you know, he's kind of like, it reminds me almost of, if you guys watched any karate fights. You know, if you watch any karate fights, he's always, you know, it's hard to try to punch someone that he's going to be stepping out when you're punching in. And when you punch in, he can step out and then punch in and counter you. That's Usyk. And he tires you out with that shit. Bruce Lee did it. Bruce Lee was bad about that. He would just be on his toes. Oscar De La Hoya is another one that used to do that. Have his hands down. Okay? De La Hoya has his hands down. You know, and then, you know, catches you with that left. You know, he's up bouncing on his toes. He did it to Obakar. One of the best knockouts I remember of Oscar De La Hoya. He stopped Obakar in the 11th round. Okay? This was back in 99, people. So I go back. I go deep, deep, deep back into the boxing history. But Usyk's one of those guys. Frankie Sanchez versus Big Baby Anderson. Who you got? Ooh, I think both of those guys should keep winning, and we'll have a super fight. And based on what they do when they rise in opposition, and I think Frank Sanchez is a couple steps above Jared Anderson when it does come to opposition. So who knows? Let those guys keep winning so we could be talking up those guys in a potential super fight between those two. You know? Fantasy fight, AJ versus Frank Bruno or Vitali versus Fury. Vitali Klitschko versus Fury I would like to see over that other shit. St. Don says, I'm not impressed by Ajagba. Me neither. Should AJ resort to dirty tricks? No, but he probably will. And he has done that in the past. I mean, how many times you seen AJ cuff a dude and try to hit him with an uppercut? A lot of times. If he misses with his jab, he cuffs the guy's neck. Yo, Kurt, can AJ replicate the Lewis Holyfield strategy against Usyk? Holyfield and Usyk both being smaller cruiserweights. It worked for Lennox Lewis. No, because Holyfield is not like Usyk, and Usyk is not like Holyfield. Usyk looks up to Holyfield only because Holyfield was smaller, going up to do those great things at a heavier weight. That's why Usyk looks up to Holyfield. Don't mean he has to fight like him. He doesn't. So no, I don't think that Joshua can do what Lewis can do, because Usyk ain't fucking Usyk is not Holyfield, and damn sure Joshua is not Lennox Lewis. So no, I don't think he can. Mark Griffith coming in with that $4.49 pound super chat sticker. Nob. Thank you, brother. You didn't have to, but you did. Counterpunch to you. Let's match Mark Griffin. Mark Griffin said, you know what? I'm the biggest super chat of the whole day. What else can I say? Hitting him with those bars. Double A Triple B. Joyce is so hard to knock down, but a skilled fighter will easily beat him on points. Yeah, I think that's going to be the realization of people beating Joe Joyce. Outpointing him, staying away from the aggression, staying away from the onslaught, avoiding the pressure shots, and you just box him and keep away from the ropes. Stay out of the corners, stay away from the ropes. Circle. Take a walk around the block. Walk around the block. Take a walk around the park. Right? That's what you do with Joyce. Because Joyce is not going to stop. He's only going to keep going. He's only going to keep flowing. Bars. Body shots will help AJ. Chisora cut the ring off with body shots. That's true. Kurt, you notice in AJ versus Usyk fight when AJ threw a left, Usyk threw a left to lower to left, or AJ and come over top with his right all night. He done that all night, rewatching fight. I seen that. And all that really was, this is what he did, Kenny B. Okay? Clarence, I don't see you retracted what you were talking about. So I don't know what you're talking about. You retracted. You said counterpunch, please, but you retracted your statement. But anyway, Kenny B. This is what Usyk did, right? The jab was indecisive, right? So the jab's coming here. So what happened, Usyk kept parrying it. He kept parrying the jab, and when he would parry it down, he would come with that right hook. So that whenever Joshua, coming from this stance, would then try to come, and he was trying to make that jab stick, trying to pinpoint where Usyk's going to be, Usyk would then, knowing that jab is not solid and is not stable, he hasn't found the range for his jab. He never found it with Usyk. So Usyk would come back, and then Usyk would parry, then he would bow, come back with it, then would bow, and then he'd come down to the body, or he would come straight up if Joshua's head's there, boom, score with that left hand. But he would come over that jab because that jab is not popping him. So it's not catching him. So what is he going to do? He's going to use that overhand. He's going to use that hand, that overhand right hook. Bow, right over the top, each time. Step, parry, score down to the body. He would come down. That's what Usyk would do. And it gave Joshua fits all day long. James Toney versus Antonio Tarver. That would be a good fight. Very tricky fight. Southpaws. Man, that would be very tricky. Easy to say stay away from Joyce. But he is relentless and don't mind mixing it up. No, he don't. And I knew, here's my thing. I knew Usyk could stand the test of time when he fought Joe Joyce. When he caught and hit Joe Joyce with enough punches to to have Joe Joyce respect him, you already knew he was onto something. What to expect from Hrgovic on and after August 20th? Well, he has to get past Zile Zhang. He has to get past him. Then after that, he can continue his crusade of people fucking ducking him. That's all going to happen, man. They're not going to fight him unless they have to. You know what I mean? And then still, just because something's ordered don't mean they have to necessarily do it. AJ needs to step on Usyk's toes when he tries to back up. That way, he can't go anywhere. Then AJ goes to work. Kenny B, let me tell you something. You think Robert Garcia is not going to tell him that? Yeah, he'll tell him. Step on his toes, Anthony. You step on his toes. This fucker's moving. He's fast. He's going to move. You step on his toes. You get the right hand in. You get out. You go up to the fucking body. I remember Vlad got beat up bad and his brother Vitaly got revenge. Yeah. Vitaly was better than Vlad. He would beat Fury. I think Vitaly was... I had an argument with a friend of mine. Shout out to Javon. Then I thought Vladimir was better than Vitaly, but then I saw them both fight. No, it's no. Vitaly is the bigger, older, more aggressive brother to Vladimir Klitschko. And the only reason that Vladimir Klitschko probably kept the unified titles was because Vitaly had the WBC and they wouldn't fight each other. You know, they had too much respect for them to fight each other. Adedabo. Kurt is 100% correct. He did the same thing, and AJ's coach couldn't do something about it. No, he couldn't. Hey, Kurt, what's up? How is everything? Everyone smash the like button for my man Kurt, one of the best channels when it comes to boxing. Appreciate your brother. Counterpunch to you. Vitaly beats Fury in his prime. Wouldn't argue with that. Would not argue with that. Kenny B, I'm not having that. Roy Jones versus Usyk. I knew somebody would do it. I knew somebody would do it. A prime Roy Jones against Usyk. Man, I really don't want to call that. Because, like, Roy Jones is my idol. P-Town in the house, baby! Corey Sanders versus Lamont Brewster, two fighters with wins over Vladimir Klitschko. Vitaly was a beast in his prime. I like Roy, but Usyk just hasn't. I got bored of Klitschko brothers. Lee Foster, I think we all got bored of the Klitschko brothers. I would have loved to see Pryor versus Pacquiao. That would be boss. Not a fan of women's boxing or women's sports for that matter, but Shield Marshall fight will see a big audience. I hope so. Joyce does have an engine. He does. He does have an engine. What about Calzaghe? Yeah, Calzaghe did that, but Roy wasn't in his prime at that time. Calzaghe fought like he fought those guys, and I think that's why he didn't really get the credit that he probably should have got or could have got if he would have fought those guys a couple years before. Just a couple. Kenny B coming in with that C8, $5 CA or 5 CA. Will you? Appreciate the super chat, brother. That clapping hands. You didn't have to, but you did. Say Don, Joe was finished as was Roy Jones when they fought. I ain't gonna say Joe Joyce was finished. But Bernard Hopkins, I mean, he was good, but Bernard Hopkins was way out of his prime, bro. I think Parker's gonna beat Joyce. Is tough. Joyce, he is tough, and his movement will give Joyce major problems. Yeah, but I think the Usyk loss in the amateurs helped Joe Joyce too. You have to look at it like that. He's been in there with Usyk. He's been in there with Dubois. You know what I mean? He sparred Anthony Joshua and those guys. You're right, Kurt. AJ has to throw the jab with authority in the rematch. No more paw. And if he paws, he's going to get beat up. I can tell you that. And that's not even in my fight prediction. If he paused with that damn jab, like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he's still trying to see like a cat trying to walk through water or pawing at some water, he's gonna get beat up. Because Usyk's not gonna waste time, because Usyk already knows him. Usyk already knows what he can do. He has to surprise Usyk with jabs. He has to surprise Usyk with authority. Even if he misses, that's what's gonna have to happen. Okay? So that's that. If he paused with it, he's going to get beat up. Because Usyk, I think, is going to come with him more aggressively than he did in the first fight. It's going to be we're going to see more of that 12-round shit with Usyk in this fight. You're right, Kurt. AJ has to throw the jab with authority. I think Parker is going to beat Joyce. He is tough. Parker is tough, though. Calzaghe wasted his best years defending. He should have moved up. Yeah. I just hope he didn't try the waiting game purposely. That would have been super shitty because I'm not a fan of that. Richard Comey versus Tank Davis. Tank Davis. I wonder if Parker has picked up some new stuff. Not sure. Joyce gets caught too much. His best defense is head. Best defense is his head, but he walks through them. Parker will get less caught and win on points. Jackie Board Johnson in with that prediction, counter punch. AJ should also go after that cut he put over Usyk's eye last fight. Well, I think that was from a headbutt, though, man. But nonetheless, that cut is there. Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller. Now, I would watch that. Joshua Lil John, I would watch that fight. Very interesting. Lee Foster, I wonder if Parker has picked up some stuff from Fury and Sugar Hill. He might have, Lee Foster. Then again, that's what I was just saying maybe about an hour ago now. Joseph Parker has been training with Tyson Fury, Jarrell Miller, all that. I think they've learned from each other. I think that has Joseph Parker more on a boxing level, and he's going to need his boxing ability to take on somebody like Joe Joyce. AJ got to go to the body enough times to make Usyk think and then go for broke. St. Don, great strategy. Set it up. I think Tank is better overall boxing than Ryan, but I got Ryan stopping him in 6 or 7 because Tank starts slow, and I think that is very dangerous against Ryan Garcia. The build-up for Miller versus White would be hilarious. Yeah, it would. Hopefully, if White don't pull like he did last time. Shout out to Mark Griffins coming in with that $4.49 pound sticker. The Fox. You didn't have to, but you did. Counterpunch to you. Prograis versus Cepeda. Oh my God. Yes, please let's have that fight. I like, Prograis from Louisiana. Will you? AJ versus Usyk is going to finish in the first 6 or 7 rounds by TKO. The question is, who is going to win? Ooh, Zaran. Popovic coming in with that counter punch prediction. Build up for Thurman versus Broner would be classic. Man, you see that? Hey, boy, first of all, I think you're about bullshit. I think AB means about bullshit. You know what? You dropped the ball against El Chino Maidana. Maidana had you, boy. What you think I'm gonna do to you? I was whooping people with bone spurs. I was whooping people. Hey, look, man, man, you know what? I'm gonna cut you off like you cut your ponytail off, man. That's what I'm gonna do to you, man. You ain't shit to me, man. Man, I ate water. I ate all water and cornflake. You don't know nothing about that. You from Florida. You pussy. I'll show you pussy, boy. I'll show you pussy when I get you in the ring and slap you around like a rag doll. You ain't nothing but a little leftover wannabe Mayweather anyway, and he ducked me too. Hey, man, look, don't disrespect. Keep Mayweather out your mind. You looking at me, nigga. You looking at me. It would be massive, bro. Massive amount of shit talk, Yeah, about AB, about bullshit. That's what it means. James West coming in blessed by the best. Coming in with that $10 on your boy. Cincinnati, stand up. Usyk beats Jones. I don't know, man. I don't know if Usyk beats Jones. Yeah, I know he'll beat him now. Just got here. What's going on? Jimmy Jam. Man, we've had a great time. I've been here an hour and 54 minutes. Yeah, you real late. You real tardy. That's one demerit. But no, we were actually talking about the build-up. The major topic is supposed to be about Andy Ruiz saying fuck it, just all that. But the topic between Keith Thurman and Adrian Broner, man, that would be one of the shit talking, man, I think you full of bullshit. Man, look, let me tell you something, Keith Thurman. You cut your hair off, you like Samson, bitch. You ain't got no power no more. Ever since Pacquiao whooped you. Well, look, Pacquiao beat you too, boy. At least I fought him to a split decision, and you didn't even win. You didn't win too, bitch. What you mean? Well, I got more money than you. I got more money to fight him than you did. I'm the premier boxing champion. That's why Floyd ducked me. You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. Hey, I ain't ducking nobody. I ain't never ducked nobody. Hey, I hate me owe me a whole bunch of money, bitch. I'm gonna fight you and take that shit out on you. That's what I'm gonna do for you, bitch. Well, I'll show you the bitch. You know what? AB is about a bitch. That's what it means, really. Now that I'm changing. You got so many names. You so lame. Bars. Shout out from James Best. Blessed by the best. Crazy, man. Man, that build-up would be so crazy. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I would love to see that fight. Hey, boy, you know what? Fuck your scattered teeth fast, motherfucker. You need to get your teeth fixed. Hey, let me tell you something, son. Nobody fuck with me. Nobody fuck with me. What you want to do? They'll have to have security and shit like that, Look, they would have it. They would have to have everything to hold those guys back, to pull those guys back, because it would be one of those, they would be heated. It would be something like Derek Chisora versus Dillian White. Who's the donkey? Who's the donkey now? Man, the fuck out of it. Yeah, kill him. It's crazy, man. Boxing is the sport that I love, that I hate so much for this reason. The sport that I love, that I hate so much. And listen. Absolutely love the way you impersonate people. Mark Griffin, counterpunch to you, brother. I would love to see Jermaine Taylor versus either one of the Charlos. You know what? That'll be a big build-up, too. Because if it's Jamal Charlo, he'd be like, man, I'll fuck your ass up. If it's Jermell Charlo, man, I'll fuck you up. Kurt, why are a lot of people keep saying Usyk has no power? Because everybody's too infatuated with power itself. Everybody is too infatuated with the fact that, these guys have power. See, we're worried about one-punch knockout power, like this is a fucking tough man contest. That's why. Instead of knowing that, hey, and actually, if you don't have a huge amount of power, you're more entertaining because you're able to show off your stuff. Like, look at Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko ain't a big puncher, but the accumulation and him showing what he can do, that God-gifted, reflexes and, ability that he has, that he's able to instead of he's down. Which one would you rather see? I'd rather see somebody get hit 10 times than 2. Could you rank your top 5 heavyweights right now, Kurt? Order as well. Top heavyweights. Fury, 1A. Usyk, 1B. Who you got? Joshua under that. Wilder behind Joshua. Because Wilder lost later. That's the only reason. Frank Sanchez. And that's it. That's all. That's all, folks. He has enough power to break an eye socket. That's all you need basically. Yep, that's true. But he got to clear 147 and 157. 54 pounds first. Is Devin Haney getting the credit he deserves? Mark Griffin. He got the belts. I think Devin Haney has showed people that they will duck him. That's respect, though, because he has nothing to gain. He has nothing to gain. All he has to do is defend all those fucking belts that he obtained. Bars. Usyk has a massive engine, man. He does. I think Usyk beats Fury if they ever fall. I think Usyk would beat Fury simply because he would just outdo him. He would outlast Fury as far as fatigue levels and everything else. He can do more longer, if that makes sense. Fury, Usyk, AJ, Wilder, Joyce. Cool. A person that throws an accumulation of punches is more dangerous than a one KO punch because of the lasting effects. Of course, Skrilla 50. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis or Devin Haney. I would want to see all those fights. Let me see them all. Let them all fight each other. Let them all get paid. Why not? Miller KO's White. Everyone knows his kryptonite. Bars. If Usyk beats AJ again and cleans up the division, where does he rank all time? Ooh, man, that's a good one. If he beats Tyson Fury, he will become the new representation of, once again, a Ukrainian takeover. Counterpunch. Ukraine will once again it will be only one person. So you take out Vitaly, you take Vladimir, you clash them into one, you minimize it, you got fucking Alexander Usyk. That's what it'll be. That's exactly how it will be. Wilder dropped him last fight twice. Fury can't keep up with Usyk. Kurt, you pronounce Hergovic last name wrong. Greg, Spurs, Popovich, Spurs basketball coach who added. Okay, Ergovic. Is it Ergovic or Ergovich? Cairo Middleton. If Usyk and Michael Moore fought in their primes, who you got winning? I don't know, because Michael Moore had a suspect chin, man. He gets chin too easy. You see what David Tua did to him? Damn. Fury is on another level. Mark Burnick says. St. Don at Jimmy Jam. Usyk doesn't hit like Wilder. No, he does not. Now, that is true. Good counterpunch from Don. You know, Don coming in with that Fury support. Shout out to you. See, this is what I like to see. We got 95 people, 93 likes. That's what I want to see each and every time we do a live. Because we're doing a live tomorrow. I'm doing one tomorrow. So we're doing lives all week. Tua would did the same if he caught Usyk. Tua would do the same if anybody if he hit someone with that left hook. Usyk versus rapid fire Chris Berg. Great fight. Great fight. You know, do you think Usyk needs to bulk up for the Fury match? Nope. Effie Salak. Nope. Don't do what Wilder did, Effie. Don't do what Wilder did. That's what Wilder thought. Wilder thought, I need to get bigger to take on Tyson Fury so I can pull a bigger trigger. Bars. So, before I go, because we've got 2 hours, we've given you guys 2 hours. It's been fun, been fantastic. Listen, you guys got to check out the fight prediction. Members only. Hit the join button. Owen Bradley, cheers, my friend. Looking forward to the lives the rest of the week. Absolutely on. They're coming at you. God bless all of you. I hope you guys have a great day or night. And everyone on the chat has been counterpunched.